forward, and it's recording. Great. So my name is Petra Diamant, and today I'm speaking to a very special guest from Solidearth Meerkat Rescue and Rehabilitation. Alba, welcome. I'm so happy that I found you. Just a little bit of background, guys. So earlier this year, or middle 2020, I went to the Eastern Cape and I met, and I'll show everybody because this is a very special limited edition interview. I met this little being. Can you see the face? And this is Queen Elizabeth III. So I got introduced to her. I absolutely fell in love with her. And being who I am, I decided to look into meerkats and find out a little bit more about, habitat, about their social nature, and then I discovered the illegal wildlife trade in meerkats, of which South Africa has a massive illegal wildlife trade in meerkats. And then that led me to you, Alva. That actually led me to you because I went online, I went onto YouTube, and then I saw the carte blanche interview that you had earlier this year in March. So I think everything kind of like just nicely fell in place. I was meant to be there, I was meant to meet her, and I was meant to meet you, and obviously have this beautiful conversation with you today. So I'd like you to please introduce yourself and Solidearth to us.
Well, I'm Alma Celeste Stafford. I'm the founder, and me and my husband are the full hands-on workers and stuff and everything of Solidearth Meerkat Rehab and Rescue. And Peter, I just want to thank you for contacting me and for your passion for these animals. Because we need, the more we can get the word out that they actually suffer when they are in the trade and they get to the wrong place, and
Yes.
that we've seen horrible things happen to them.
Yes.
And we can get the word out, and the more we can get people to realize that these animals, I know some people have them as pets, I do know that, I do look after them very well, and yes, then well that's okay.
Yeah.
But they're not pets, and if I can just get people to realize that and get people actually to know them better, I think if they know how they function, then they will probably think twice before getting one as a pet.
And I know that we spoke earlier, and I also just want to say thank you to Wild Heart Wildlife Foundation for sending me this gorgeous gift on this day, the 24th, which is such a beautiful reminder of us being in flow and really actively doing the work. So I know that it's so difficult for people that are in wildlife and that have organizations. Sometimes we want to give up, and sometimes we just really it's just tiring. And then on days like this, when the whole community comes together and we love and support each other, and you get this on such a special day, the same day that I'm having my interview with you, I mean, this is the flow, and this is where the faith lies, and this is where we trust in each other, and also in God and the work that we do, right? So Alma, talking about people that have meerkats, because that's actually how Solidearth started. So tell me about how Solidearth started.
Solidearth started with me having a pet meerkat.
Because they are cute, aren't they?
They are. They are. And I didn't buy it from the trade. I saw a cat with someone, and well, I didn't even know anything about them, but I could see this little thing was sick and there was something wrong. So I just bought it from them to get it, to rescue it basically.
Yeah.
Now I had this meerkat, and at that stage my husband was on a course in Oudtshoorn. So I was with this little meerkat. I just phoned him and said, listen, we've got a meerkat now. And I went to fetch him in Oudtshoorn, and I was traveling with this meerkat over the borders. I didn't know anything about the laws or nothing.
Yeah.
And so cute. We stopped at the base, and I was waiting for him, and I took the meerkat out, and where they were staying was a little piece of lawn, and she was digging there, and he still had the last session of his lessons, and he came walking towards us, and I said to him, here's our baby meerkat, and he put his hand down on the grass, and she ran to him and hugged him. That was it.
Oh.
So we had Pippi, and then at that stage we were still staying in Zeerust, and I was at home, full day. And I promise you, I was so tired looking after this little animal because I just, she was so busy and she wanted to get out all the time. And I couldn't let her go out because there's eagles and there's hawks and there's everything flying around in Zeerust because it's the Mariko bushveld.
Yeah.
I promise you, if she slept and he came home, I'm like, shh, she's sleeping. I was so tired of looking after her. And then I started realizing these animals need to be social. They've got no personal space. They don't know what is personal space. They're on each other the whole day, grooming, and they're digging together. And it's actually, they need 5 hours of digging a day to develop normal socially.
Yes, yes. And I can vouch for that, I can vouch for the busyness, So behind me, there's a photograph of Queen Elizabeth III. And, and I started walking her and spending a lot of time with her. And I can tell you, I mean, this little meerkat has a story and a history behind her, and one that's not a happy tale. It's not a happy story. She's got 3 legs. She went through incredible abuse from humans, and then to still be so loving and so kind and just such a cutie pie. I mean, the snuggles and the amount of love, that she deserves and that she also requires and requests. She comes up to you and she's like, okay, this is it. I need to have that close contact. And also what she gives, it's mind-blowing. They are highly intelligent, highly social, and I mean, I look at her and she's a little person to me. She's not a pet. She's not an animal to me. She's a little person. The personality is so strong. And I can say that I think, am I correct in saying that each and every single one of them that you work with have their own individual personality?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Everyone's different.
And they are hard work to take care of. I mean, it was just myself and her. And then the environment, I mean, so they need enough sleep, they need ample space to be able to move around, but the digging is so important. The eating the natural food is so important. And I mean, she would sit, on days and literally call out to her troop that she remembers, the other meerkats that she remembers, and she would sit and cry, and that was heartbreaking to observe. That was heartbreaking to observe. So I mean, so you basically started taking care of her. You realized, the amount of work that it entails to take care of these animals. Just one animal, and you have so many at the moment.
Just one.
Yeah.
And what happened then is, I knew people with nature conservation, so I contacted them, and then he said to me, no, you can't keep them. You can't even get a permit for them. In Northern Cape, they are protected species.
Yeah.
So I said to him, okay, so we were going to take them to another sanctuary. And he phoned me about other meerkats that were in Kuruman that were confiscated. And I said, it's fine, we will take them with us to the sanctuary. And eventually, we got a temporary holding permit. We decided we've got space to do the release.
Yeah.
But I must say, we were diving into the deep end.
Yeah. Okay, so we lost you a little bit. Oh, there you are. Yeah.
That little and that little meerkat that was so loving and so and loved me so much. We didn't know how meerkats function. And one day she just bit me.
Yeah.
And I ended up in a hospital. It was such a bad bite.
Yeah. Because they like their space, like I mean with Queen Elizabeth, like if she didn't want to be picked up, she didn't want to be picked up. If she wanted to be alone, she wanted to be alone. If she wanted company, she would come to you, so it's very much that dynamic. So they're very very forward in that way, and in the sense of, I suppose it's like any other animal. They will choose if they want to be with you or not, And I think
Yeah.
what's more concerning, and I read this, and you said that they will always look for their own kind, and they would always want to be with their own kind. Yeah.
Tell you another interesting story. Bella, that I'm holding the doll, she's also got only 3 legs, and Bella's been with us. Well, April next year, she will be with us for 4 years. I raised her from a tiny, sick little pup, and she was the first meerkat ever that formed a bond with me where I was her alpha, and all
So we have
for
a little bit of
and
internet
we released
connection.
her 3 times.
Yeah. So our internet is coming and going, but you
Can
just
you?
talk. Yeah, no, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, we released her 4 times and she struggled in the veld quite badly. So no, sorry, 3 times. And the 3rd time I said to my husband, I'm going to release her again because she just doesn't cope there.
Yeah.
And then she was in a fight and she lost her leg. If we go to the vet and they have to do whatever, I don't even have to put a glove on because she will not bite me because I'm the alpha. They're a matriarch system, their social.
Yes, they have a
Female is
hierarchy, a system that they follow.
Yes. And the alpha female is the head of the pack. So everyone submits, beneath her. And the other day, Bella was, for a little while, I didn't able to give the attention that I give every day to her. And I went into the enclosure to get her out and she attacked me. For the first time ever, Bella attacked me, but attacked and viciously attacked me.
Yeah, wow.
Happen, they have such a strong hierarchy that if you are not the alpha, they will at a stage bite you because that's actually challenging. It's not they bite you because of something else, it's like
Yeah. They will exert their natural behavior, basically, which is natural to them, which
yes,
comes natural to
yes,
them.
yeah,
And I think that's also
yeah,
very challenging in terms because, as human beings, we like to be in control and we like to dominate.
yeah,
That's where things
yes,
become a little bit tricky and very dangerous for these animals because
yes,
this, I think, is one species and one type of animal that you can't really dominate. You
yeah, it's
can't really
quite,
control them, you can't contain
yeah,
them, you can't teach them how to be different when they have their own set of natural way of being and a natural order in a system that they basically fit into.
mm, yeah,
Yeah.
and they're very subtle with their challenging. If you don't know them extremely well, you will not even know being challenged, and then
Yeah.
you will just get a bad bite. And if they bite, it doesn't normally stop.
Yeah, yeah. I
It gets
think,
worse.
well, from what I've learned, with working with the meerkat that I met was Queen Elizabeth. I like calling her by her name, because this is also in honor of her and also in honor of all the ones that you work with. So she basically
Yes.
inspired this whole interview with you, and this whole journey now that I'm taking on, advocating and raising awareness for their species. So
Yes.
I would do something with her once and she will either like it or not like it. And if she
Yes.
likes it, she would want to do it again.
They'll go. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
They're very. If they've got something in their little heads, they will.
Yes.
If they just go through that hole or
Yes.
bit,
Yes.
they don't
And
stop.
yeah, they don't stop. And also, what I observed was where she felt the safest was where she would sleep. There where she felt the safest was where she would sleep. So
Yes.
if this was the safest for her, she would want to get on and be in this space, And I remember seeing her the first time, literally going up to her, picking her up, putting her in my neck and just holding her. And that was that. And that was, and the two of us were kind of like inseparable, right? So
Yeah.
there's so much that I want to talk to you about with meerkats, because this is a special edition, Christmas, limited Christmas edition kind of interview with you. I thought that we would keep it a little bit lighthearted with a touch of seriousness. so that if
Okay.
anybody is aware of somebody maybe trading in meerkats, that they do call you or that they do reach out to the authorities. If somebody maybe does have a meerkat and you are struggling with the meerkat and the personality and how the personality is evolving, is that you also reach out to Alma and speak to Alma about that. You know, guys, we can't be selfish when it comes to animals. We have to take their needs into account as well. And I've had to triple check myself, you know, during the past 3 months, to triple check myself whether I have the energy, the space, you know, the love, the capability to take care of her and take her on with me as a guardian. And I don't want to call her a pet, because I don't believe that meerkats can actually be pets. I don't believe in this, you know.
Yes, that.
So, and I also don't want to condone anybody thinking now, because when I got back to Cape Town, I had a friend who said to me, you know, that they want to get meerkats. Meerkats are so cute. And I very politely and very full of a whole lot of love for this person, you know, took them through the whole story of what actually happens, because I know that you and I had a conversation. To use them as surrogates is not going to work. You said that, you know, to use it is not going to serve, because there is a system. They're either going to like each other and get along, or they're not going to like each other and they're going to attack. Then there's the matriarch, not the matriarch, the alpha, you know, and whoever you bring in will challenge that alpha position again, which leads to the alpha getting attacked. Yeah. So there's so much we're going to.
Unfortunately, that is.
Yeah, that is what happens. So, Alma, this has been quite a journey for you. I mean, you've had Solidearth for how many years now?
We're now 6 year.
Gosh, and the challenges, right? It never ever stops. I mean, having an animal, yeah, it never ever stops. And I believe, and I don't know if you want to share the numbers you have. So your main work is to rescue, rehabilitate, and ultimately take them back into the wild. Release them, right? And I know that we've covered all sorts of topics in terms of like going across a region, which, you know, there's an issue with that, or people maybe phoning you and they can't get the meerkat to you, or, you know, a whole lot of other lists of politics. But what's been the most challenging for you? Because I know that you have meerkats that are they can't be released back into the wild. You know, I think that's the most heartbreaking of all of it.
I only have a small group that can't go back to the fold. I call them my house group, and they stay around the house and you know, do what they do. But there's a lady that actually, she does the part where she takes the meerkats that can't be released. At the moment, she's got 72 meerkats at her place.
That's too much.
And it's just coming.
It's too much. I mean, like, you know, one for me was very busy. One for me was, I mean, that's one, right? So that's in that kind of like context. Now you have 72 meerkats. And let's face it, they are busy. You have to have the space for that. You have to have the space for them. So I want to tell you, I want to ask you basically, you know, so you've seen all sides, you've seen the beautiful nature. Like, explain to me a meerkat who is balanced, who has ample space, whose needs are being met and fulfilled, and, you know, everything is just as they require it to be. Explain what that meerkat kind of like appears, or what that looks like.
I must say, to sit and watch them when they're happy and they have their space and they have a mob and it's awesome. To see the interaction between them, you know, they groom each other and they play. Even like Bella, she's 4 years old already. She's actually an old meerkat, or almost 4. She would go line up on her back and play with the pups that she's got. And like I said, you know, when they go and sleep, they lie on top of each other, not next to each other. They must be on top of each other.
Yeah.
And it's it's just amazing to watch them. You know, they just go with each other, and there's such a strong connection between them.
Yeah.
So, and you can see they are happy. You can see they're in a happy space.
And constant And constant communication, right?
Yeah,
Constant
no,
communication and looking out for each other, you know, because I've also seen that happening is where she would dig, look, dig, but there wouldn't be that full trust. Whereas if they're in a group, you
yes,
know, she can just dig. So I would
yeah,
stand and then I
yeah,
would
yeah.
dig and I mean I literally, you know, I don't know who's been following the post, but my conversation or my language literally for the past 2 months, you
Mm.
know, while I was in the Eastern Cape was so
Yeah.
that was what I spoke. Okay, that was
Mm.
kind of like the language that I used. So it would be or like some sort of other you know sound to mimic her sounds. Now we talk about the opposite. So, you know, when they don't have that space and they don't have the attention, they don't get the attention, they don't have their own troop, they don't have their own mob, then they become violent.
They do become violent, and they also become they start self-mutilating.
Yeah.
I've had meerkats that literally start eating their stomachs away, ate their tails that there were nothing left, literally nothing left.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, what?
We've had a meerkat recently that came in. She was kept in a cage, and she was so sweet when she came in. We could touch her, pick her up, and as soon as we put her in with other meerkats, and that's what happened, she snapped. She was so bad that she broke the chicken mesh to try and attack us.
Oh
So
gosh.
I went and I said, gave him, and she was like spinning all around trying to chase her tail.
Oh no.
And it sounds like rabies. So we had to put it down, and she didn't have rabies. The tests were negative. So she completely snapped. And that's what usually happens. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that. That's,
Yeah.
we've had meerkats that eat their tails, and we have to put them down. Like I
Yeah.
said, eat weeks, and we have to put
Oh,
them
that's
down. So
that's
yeah,
horribly
bad.
sad.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's horribly sad. In fact, I actually just feel like crying now. But I mean, the time frame that we speak about, you know, so I know that from our first conversation, you also said that meerkats can take about anything from 1 to 6 years before they start self-mutilating and basically start taking out their
Yes.
what's the word? Their I can't get to the word now, but before they basically start harming themselves because they don't have that
Yes.
interaction and they don't have their own troop and they're not as busy, you know, they're not digging,
Mm.
they're not walking, they're not, I mean, and they also move from space to space, you know, so I mean, there's a natural order to things, you know, in the wild, which no human
Yes.
can really offer
No.
a wild animal. I mean, let's face it, you know, to put it very straightforward like that, is there's a reason why they are in a social order like that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's interesting. We once followed a wild mob just to see what they do. And it was so interesting to see how they move around. They basically have 4 sets of burrows. And every night, sometimes they will stay at one site for about 2 weeks. And then just suddenly we go there in the evening, they're gone.
Yeah,
We drive the burrows places. So yeah, they, they decide how they want to do it. They decide where they go. Um, and we also saw how they pushed out females, um, fell pregnant, and the alpha female just pushed them out. You either
gosh.
die or you leave.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the reality.
And that's also a very interesting topic because you know that also explains then why you can't just get a whole or go and rescue meerkats and then just think that you can put them with you know other meerkats because they will turn on each other if the personalities clash.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So Alma, so
yes. No, definitely.
we are going to do another interview. We were going to get into the nitty gritties, but because this is festive season, we only want to
Yeah.
touch here and there on certain topics, and we want to basically
Mm.
bring awareness to this incredible species and these beautiful animals, and ask that to take into consideration, you know, their family structure and how they operate, and not to go take them out of the wild and think that it's cute or not be selfish and think that you want one, okay,
Mm.
and that you're going to be able to take care of them, okay.
Mm.
It's hard work, I must
Yes.
tell you. It is, I mean, It really is, you know, you have to be so
No, they
committed.
24/7.
Yeah, they are 24/7. And also, I mean, there's also, you know, the way of sleeping, you know, and wanting to sleep close to each other.
Yeah.
And I just want us to touch on the law when it comes to the law, you know. What are the challenges that the species faces pertaining to where do they fall under, and what category do they fall under, and what is the law, you know, because that sometimes is a little bit confusing. So let's talk about that.
Our biggest problem at the moment is basically that every province has its own ordinance, and every province is different. Like in the Northern Cape, they protected species, but all the other provinces they not.
Yeah.
But the main thing is that they are classified as wild animals in our national law, and that means that when you have a certificate that you are that you may trade in game on your farm, they do not fall under game. They fall under wild animal, and wild animals you are not allowed to trade in. You're not allowed to keep. And nature conservation is actually not allowed to give you a permit for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, are you done? Yeah, because
So yeah, in the
signal.
Northern Cape, the Northern Cape, they don't give permits at all.
Okay.
There are provinces that will consider giving a permit,
Yeah.
but like I said, they're actually not supposed to do it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's the answer here, Alma? I mean, what is the answer? You know, so we have meerkats that can't go back into the wild. We don't want to encourage people to get them as pets, you know, especially not if you don't have the sufficient space for it, or the know-how of it, or you don't have the commitment and the time for them, you know. What's the answer here? I mean, as I understand that the meerkat trade in South Africa is massive. I had no idea.
Yes.
I had no idea that it was this massive. Yeah, yeah.
It's very big. And now at the moment, the exporting is just hectic.
Yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous.
The guy the other day that was trying to he was trying to export 70 breeding pairs.
70. I mean, that's a massive number, isn't it? And exporting to where in the world?
Yeah, that's 140 meerkats.
Yeah, that's
We don't know.
140. That's 140 of our meerkats. Africa's meerkats, South Africa's meerkats, you know, the wild. I mean, those are from families, meerkat families. I mean, like, who do these people think that they are? Okay, so that's a topic for another conversation. Definitely one that we'll have, and in our follow-up interview that we'll have, you know, that's going to be getting down straight to the point. We're going to be very graphic about, and we'll also show you images of what really happens with these animals when they are kept in captivity, and even when they are being traded. I mean, guys, really, you know, we're going into 2021. You know, we have to start learning as humans to respect wildlife and respect animals, and be kind and compassionate to them, you know, and treat them as individuals, not as things. Treat them as people, not as things. Treat them as people from other nations, from other species, and honor them, you know, in their natural habitat, and leave them be. Just leave them be. You know? Wouldn't you agree, Alma? Yeah.
No, I do. This is going to sound terrible, but I would love, well, I would be happy if we can close Solidearth, because there is no more meerkats that needs to be rescued.
And, you know, I must tell you how many conservationists and how many, you know, people that own their own organizations, animal organizations, say that. I mean, I haven't heard one person not say that, you know, because that means that we've accomplished what we've wanted to accomplish. The work was done, you know, and people get it. People finally get it. So from my side, guys, you know, this is Christmas, and, you know, we are celebrating the birth of baby Jesus. And as all of you know, Jesus taught love and compassion, especially for animals as well. So Alma, do you want to say something special to people, and also maybe just give us a little prayer for Christmas, for people, humans and animals? You want to do something like that for us before we go
Yeah,
into?
because I want to say that solid earth has been given to us really by God, and we do it for Him. We don't do it for ourselves, because really this came to me in a stage where my life was really down in the dumps, and it pulled me out of it. And every time I decided I'm giving up, I'm so tired, because this is your ministry, this is your calling. So yeah, that is what we do. But Solid Earth also wants to. We're here for the animals, obviously, because yeah, we sit with them all day and every day. But we are also, we want to care for people as well. Because if you care for the people, you also care for the animals.
Yeah.
If you get people to help you, um, they learn as well.
Yeah. I think it's so important,
You
and as
would
somebody,
love to.
yeah. Yeah, sorry to interrupt because it keeps on breaking. I think it's so important, for instance, myself, and we spoke about this, we get so caught up in wanting to help animals, help animals, help animals, and
Yes.
that's where our focus is, and people can be so disappointing some days, I mean, it just can be. But really, in the end of the day, you have to work with people if you want to work with wildlife, and you have to educate and create awareness and bring
Yes.
that knowledge to people because they don't have it. And this is what I've realized. People don't know, and they don't make an effort to go and find out, you know. And for those that have the
Yes.
information, if you have the information, it's your duty to share it.
Mm.
If you have the
Yes.
know-how, it's almost like your duty to share it, to be that guardian to the wildlife, to be that
Mm.
friend to the wildlife, to be that
Mm.
that kind and compassionate,
Mm.
to other earthlings. And that's what it's about,
Yes.
the kindness and the compassion, and the not owning, but the loving and caring and protecting them, to the best we know how.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Um,
true.
yes.
Yeah. So I would just want to bless everyone, and tell them, just wish them a Merry Christmas. And I really pray that 2021 will be better for everyone. I know
Yeah.
this was a tough for us.
Yeah.
And I really pray, Lord, that you would just bless everyone, that you would just show us your glory, Lord, and through the work with what we do with the animals, like Petra as well, Lord, that we would glorify you with our work and not ourselves, that we would be fishers of men through our work and not just focus on what is already saved. The animals are already saved, but the people are not always saved. We pray that we will really, Lord, just take out your name out there and just show everyone you created every little thing. And if you really look at it, Lord, you can't miss how big and how awesome you are. And I ask that you bless everyone that's listening to this, and that you would help us through this tough time. And Lord, where there's a shortage of money and people that are suffering, I really pray for them. And I pray that you will come through for them and help them. And the 2021 year, Lord, will be the year that you made big and glorified through all the miracles that you will be doing on this earth. And I thank you, Lord, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. Amen, Alma. Thank you so much for that. Yes. And to that, really what we do to animals, we do to ourselves, and what we do to ourselves, we do to animals. And if we can change our
Yes.
relationships with ourselves, and we can change our relationships with the people in our lives and the people that we come in contact with, that will change everything. That will
Yes.
change your relationship with the earth, with the animals, with the elements, with people, with your own heart, so if we can express in every moment and in every breath the love that's in our hearts, the kindness that's in our hearts, the compassion that's in our hearts, and
Yes.
we function from that place, and you burn solidly in that flame, that divine flame, and you can recognize the divine within everyone, including the animals. That will
Yes.
be the most beautiful, beautiful world that we will
Yes.
co-create together. And it is possible. I believe that it is possible. So Alma, I'm very happy, and I'm going to
It
mention
is.
them.
Yes.
I'm very happy that Wild Heart Wildlife Foundation sent me your number. I want to thank them so much, guys. I received a calendar from them today, and these are all organizations that I support, like that I solidly support. So, Alma, for Solidearth Meerkat Rescue and Rehabilitation, I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to raising awareness for you guys and seeing what's possible so that we can get people to wake up and understand that our relationship, especially with these cuties, okay, because they are cute, have to change, and we have to respect them. We have to
Mm.
respect them, okay, and leave them in the wild, and
Yes.
leave them with their own moms and dads, and
Mm.
leave them with their own
Yes.
family. Yeah, that's where
Yeah.
they belong. So I
Definitely.
want to say thank you so very much, and Merry Christmas, everybody. And very important, if you do come across somebody that does have meerkats and they are trading illegally, or you know of information, share that information with Solidearth. Alma,
Mm.
can you give us your number quickly? Because I can see the number at the back, but it's kind of blocked. So what's the number that everybody phones?
Now, this number is the wrong number.
Oh, is that the okay? So that's good.
I can
Okay.
tell you. Yeah. The number that you can contact us on is 083 388 0898. And I just want to say that every single piece of information or message that we receive, we treat very anonymous. Be mentioned, no one will know, because we know people are sometimes scared to give information because they don't want to be named or anything. But we
But
really
you have to
treat
give
it.
the information. They have to
Yeah,
give
you
the
have to.
information. Give the
But
information.
please, we will
Yes.
not mention your name.
Yeah. No, it's so important. Like, we really are in a time now where we have to give the information. So Solidearth is an organization that you can contact, and they will follow up with this. Okay. It really is up
Yes.
to all of us to pull our weight and be accountable and responsible for what happens on this planet. We have one Earth, and these species, if you look into the trade, the doors that you will open, it's horrific. So
Mm.
that's your number.
Yes.
Okay. And your email
Yes.
address?
It's alma.solidearth@gmail.com.
Okay. So that's alma.solidearth@gmail.com. And then there's a Facebook page as well, which is Solid Earth, Meerkat Rescue and Rehabilitate and Rescue.
Yes. And also our webpage is basically finished. So it will be probably up and running within the next week, or well, let's say before end of December.
Yeah. And I want to encourage those who do have meerkats at the moment, if you do see this, if this happens to be come across your way and you watch this, is if you do have a meerkat and it's unmanageable for you, okay,
Yes.
consider gifting he or she a new life, a life where they will be cared for and guarded over and loved, and where their needs will be met, and everything that they require will be given to them. So
Yes.
consider doing that, okay, rather than
And
keeping one of them at your home and not being
yeah.
able to care for them.
And please don't put them on Facebook and try and sell them or try and give them. We've had that happen just recently, that someone gave the meerkat away. She advertised on Facebook, and the lady that she gave it to contacted me. That meerkat died 4 days later of toxic kidney stress because she just couldn't handle the stress.
Oh, that's horrible.
So please contact us that know what we're doing, that know how to know what to give them for the stress, rather than giving them to someone that's going to love them but doesn't really know
Yes.
how to handle that stress and that animal
Yeah.
that's now really thoroughly
And it's all about the love.
and doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, it's all about the love, isn't it? It's all about that, like creating that family for them and that unit for them, and giving them the best possible life that they deserve, the best possible life that they deserve, which should be in the wild with their troop. So
Yes.
from myself, Pietro Diamant, you can reach me on www.pietrodiamant.com or www.earthalive365.com. And you can reach Alma on her number that she's provided, and I'll also put that in the link, and I'll put her Gmail address in there as well, and I'll also include your website, so so that they can easily reach you. But Facebook is, I'm sure you have Messenger, so your Messenger goes boop, 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 the whole time.
Yes.
If things come in. And then from all of us, please look out for our new interview, because we will do another follow-up interview, or a couple actually, I think is required for this one, and where we will get into the nitty-gritties of things. And if you're in a situation where you can't look after your beautiful, lovely meerkat friend, okay, then contact Alma and have a conversation with her. Alma, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you and your family and your meerkat
And we
family.
won't prosecute you.
Yeah, no, I think, we're in times also where we all have to work together for the greater good, and put our selfish needs aside. So yeah, so thank you so much for your time today, and I'm just thank you. Yeah,
Well,
I
thank you,
wish you
Pietro,
well,
for
and I'm going to
yours.
speak to you again. And Merry Christmas, everybody. And this has been quite a year. So let's onwards and upwards for 2021. Let's make this world more kind, more compassionate, and a safer place for all, where we recognize the divinity within every single being, and we honor that, and we respect that, and we love that, right? Because we honor and respect and love ourselves, and because we do that, we can kind of do that with everybody else. Anyway, so
thank you, Pietro.
Thank you. Have a lovely day, Alma.
You too.